Franchise activity in Israel by known international brands has greatly increased in recent years, but the U.S. continues to be the most successful at tailoring to Israeli tastes. I-24 News journalist Daniel Roth has the report.
Packaging a business model, logo, and product and selling it to potential entrepreneurs looking for a little less risk. The idea of the franchise is rooted in the ethos of the United States. Last week at a conference in Tel Aviv, the American embassy made it clear that they aim to make Israel a landing pad for some of those U.S.-based companies, helping to expand influence and beef up the bottom line. In the U.S., 850,000 franchise establishments employ 8 million people, the population of Israel. They are responsible for 5% of the superpower's annual GDP.
It's our job within the embassy to work with American companies, encourage them to come to Israel, but also encourage Israeli companies to partner with American firms. It's a thriving, busy business all the time.
The U.S. commercial counselor works with a team of 11, 9 in Tel Aviv and 2 in the West Bank. Some see an opportunity in this. Gideon Fisher, whose law firm is working on building a framework for Israeli franchise law, sees franchise expansion as potentially fruitful in creating common ground between Israelis and Palestinians.
Via the vehicle of business, we can get Palestinians and Israelis together to create mutual interest, financial interest that will get them together vis-a-vis the Americans, vis-a-vis the world. So if not for any other reason, for the reason of making a profit.
Though it is a ripe market, Israel can be tough to break into. For Israelis, the risk of lost local culture, cuisine, and innovation is put up against the power of the familiarity of international branding, and the drawback of paying royalties out to the franchisor is weighed against the benefit of a proven business model. Although, as was the case with Starbucks' entry into Israel, which famously flopped, things...
You can't forget that even a concept that's worked everywhere else still has to be tailored to the local needs and desires and culture.
Despite the challenges in expanding into the Israeli market, some see it as prime for entry and have experience at doing so.
Israel is part of our long-term strategy. We have 600 stores in China, and if you're talking about, tweaking the business, we already had to do many, many things in China, and next we're going to go to India.
East to China and Indian markets, but for the time being, the U.S. is still the source of daily on Israeli streets.